San Diego has one commercial runway. One. For a major American city. The airport sits 3 miles from downtown. The bay squeezes one side. Neighborhoods squeeze the other. Jets thread a keyhole. Everyone pretends this is normal. And somehow, it mostly is. That is the weird part. The runway works. Replacing it is the problem. Because the minute you say, move the airport, the city pulls out a map. Then the map starts sweating. The ocean arrives first, then hills, then homes, then the Navy, then voters. And much later, the backup plan starts walking toward Mexico. This is not an airport episode, it is a box episode. San Diego International is boxed in. Not metaphorically, annoyingly physically. You can draw the trap with 5 crayons. Blue for the bay, gray for the runway, little houses for the neighborhoods, a navy hat for military land, and a red stamp for voters. The airport's great trick is location. Land there, and downtown feels almost too close. Your suitcase barely has time to develop a personality. Hotels are near. The harbor is near. The convention center is near. The beach postcard is near. That convenience is why people love it. It is also why it cannot simply grow. Convenience is the bait. The runway is the trap. Airports usually want space, lots of it. Space for runways, space for taxiways, space for terminals, space for noise, space for the part where a city changes its mind. San Diego did the rude version. It put the airport beside the city people actually use. Good for passengers. Awkward for expansion. Every improvement becomes surgery in a crowded kitchen. Move one thing and 3 other things complain. Build more gates and the runway still has 1 lane. Improve the terminal and the airplanes still take turns. Here is the detail that gets me. The airport can feel relaxed to a passenger. Coffee, palm trees, short ride. Then the system underneath is doing a tiny panic sprint. The city sells easy arrivals. The airport performs difficult choreography. That choreography started early. The airport was dedicated in 1928. San Diego was not yet the giant visitor machine people know now. The city grew up around the airfield. The airport did not move away. The city leaned closer. More people came. More flights came. More hotels came. More reasons to keep the airport exactly where it was. That is how traps age. They start as convenience. Then they become identity. By the time the problem is obvious, everyone has built their routines around it. The first wall is water. The bay is beautiful. It is also terrible at becoming spare runway land. You can admire it. You can photograph it. You cannot politely ask it to scoot left. The second wall is neighborhoods. People live near the flight paths. They bought houses, raised kids, learned the sound of engines, and also learned the phrase airport noise office. San Diego even has a late-night departure curfew. That is a city saying, the runway may be busy, but people still want to sleep. The third wall is geography. Southern California looks wide on a map. Then you try to place a major airport. Suddenly, every empty-looking space has a hill, a canyon, a road, a habitat, a military use, or someone with a very long public comment. The fourth wall wears a Navy hat. San Diego is a military city with beaches attached. That matters. Military land is not spare land. It has jobs, missions, runways, security, history, and people who do not enjoy being treated like a blank square. The fifth wall is the funniest because it has a ballot. If a planner wants to move an airport, the planner needs a place, then a coalition, then years, then money, then a public that agrees the new pain is better than the old pain. Good luck. In 2006, Miramar was floated as the big answer. On paper, it had an airport-shaped advantage. It already had aviation infrastructure. It was away from the downtown squeeze. It looked from a certain distance like the adult solution. Then voters looked closer. They saw military disruption. They saw longer drives. They saw noise move to different people. They saw a giant public headache. And they said no, not quietly. More than 60% voted against it. The runway stayed, the box stayed, and the city learned a classic infrastructure lesson. A solution is not real until the people who inherit it agree. That is where San Diego gets interesting. Because the airport did not freeze in amber. It upgraded what it could. New gates, better circulation, cleaner arrivals, more food, more glass, more places to charge a phone while pretending not to watch the delay board. In 2025, the new Terminal 1 opened its first phase. That is real progress. The passenger experience gets better. The airport becomes less embarrassing. The front door gets replaced, but the hallway behind it still narrows. The same single runway keeps doing the cardio. This is the midpoint trick. The runway is not the whole problem, it is the handle. Pull it, and the whole regional machine moves. Airplanes, roads, military land, neighborhood noise, tourism, conventions, border crossings, hotel rooms. Everyone touches the handle. Nobody owns the whole machine. That is why the weirdest solution is not a second runway. It is a hallway to another country. Cross-Border Express opened in 2015. It is a pedestrian bridge, about 390 feet long. Ticketed passengers use it to walk between San Diego and Tijuana International Airport. Please pause on that. Most airport fixes involve concrete. This one involves a border becoming a corridor. A passenger can begin on the San Diego side, roll a suitcase through a controlled crossing, and enter the Tijuana airport system. That is not normal airport planning. That is a city staring at a border and asking, could this be a hallway? The bridge does not replace San Diego International. It does something stranger. It admits the box exists. Then it connects the box to another box. The region gets another pressure valve. Travelers get another option. The map gets funnier. Suddenly, the airport story is not only about San Diego. It is about San Diego and Tijuana acting like one machine when the incentives line up. Flights do not care about civic pride. Suitcases do not care about municipal branding. People want a cheaper route, a better schedule, or a less painful connection. If the hallway works, they walk. That is the quiet genius of CBX. It does not ask everyone to solve the airport forever. It gives one category of passenger a weirdly elegant side door. But side doors are honest. They tell you the front door is still crowded. Back at San Diego International, the same pressures remain. Traffic does not become adorable because the terminal is nicer. Noise does not disappear because the sandwich options improved. A single runway does not become two because the floor is shinier. And every extra passenger makes the choreography harder. The airport can get more efficient. It can get prettier. It can get easier to use. But the core object is still there. One long gray strip, doing the job of a much larger place. This is why the title sounds like a joke. The One-Runway City. It feels like a cartoon insult, but it is a real description of a real system. A beach city, a military city, a border city, a convention city, a tourist city, all taking turns on one runway. Some cities solve growth by expanding. Some solve it by moving. San Diego solved a lot of it by becoming very good at living inside constraints. That is admirable. Also slightly ridiculous. The city patched the box, polished the box, voted about leaving the box, stayed in the box, then built a bridge to the next box. So the next time a plane drops into San Diego, look out the window. There is the skyline. There is the bay. There is the tiny gray strip. There is the whole city acting calm while a logistics puzzle wears sunglasses. The keyhole did not disappear. San Diego just got very good at flying through it.